Let's give you a smile.
Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy, voiceover dub, Ghost Boy XO, back here again with another video, and we're back at AMC theaters. We're in Ontario, and we're gonna go watch a scary movie. I hope it's scary. Kind of looks comedic, could be cheesy, but we're gonna figure it out. Okay, we're gonna go watch Pinocchio Unstrung. Yes, I said it, Pinocchio Unstrung. It's kind of like the fairy tale Pinocchio. So it's gonna have its horror twist to it. And honestly, I kind of saw the, hey, yo, what's up? It's your boy. He had to go do a fit check. He had to use the restroom. Look at him. That's a dirty mirror. And they need to go clean out the trash. Look at all that dirty ass paper towel. And now we're going to get that Diet Coke Cherry. I've been pretty obsessed over Diet Coke Cherry, guys. I have a problem. I need to cut the soda. I think I need to cut the soda, but I need my caffeine. I need the Diet Coke Cherry. Anyways, you guys, make sure you guys like, subscribe, watch the videos, watch the past videos. Make sure you guys leave a nice comment. Follow the TikTok, guys. Follow the IG. I gotta go watch that movie, by the way. Ice Cream Man looks pretty scary too. Maybe a little cheesy. We'll figure it out. But surprisingly, there was a lot of people in this movie theater. I was surprised about all the people that were there. I actually had people sitting next to me. So, guys, once again, this is your boy, Ghost Voice Overdub Ghost Boy XO. You gotta watch that movie too. Check out the video, like, and let's go watch some more scary movies. Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Ghost Boy XO back here again with another video, and it's daytime. I'm gonna be heading into work in a bit in the parking lot, and I'm wearing my meta glasses. I found them. I haven't really been using them. I only used them for a trip in Japan, but yeah. Anyways, we watched the movie last night. Pinocchio Unstrung. A very weird movie, very strange, creepy. I enjoyed it. I thought it was better than Evil Dead Burn, I'll be honest with you. I'll probably get some hate for that, and it's okay. I enjoyed it because it had a lot of things, like it did have its cringy moments. There's some comedic relief as well, but also there were some pretty gory scenes. The story was pretty interesting. Anyways, let me get into it. The movie starts off with a story. The narration goes that there's a boy. The story is about a boy who lost his parents. Their parents died in an accident. By the way, sorry if I forget certain details. I always forget things really easily. I know I do. I missed a lot of things on Evil Dead, so please don't. Because sometimes I do a lot of this off the dome. As far as like names and all that stuff, sometimes I do look up after. The story is about a boy who lost his parents. They died in an accident. Obviously, he was sad. He grew up like a child shouldn't grow up without his parents. And then he later on had a best friend. And then what happened is that he lost his best friend as well. His best friend died. So this kid has a history of losing loved ones and going through traumatic, experiences as far as, being sad or depressed that he lost somebody that he loved. So the boy ends up living with his grandfather. The narrator was actually the grandfather. The grandfather is actually wanting to surprise his grandson. He has a gift for him. After the story, the narration ends. The boy, James, his grandfather looks pretty wealthy. He's well off. Obviously, he's retired. He has other friends as well. He has a friend, I believe her name is Mia. The other kid, forgive me, but I'll pop up his name here. And I forgot I didn't tell you. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember hearing his name, and I didn't even look it up. I didn't bother to look it up. It's not important. he is upset that his friend had recently passed away. He's very lonely. It was his best friend. He would see him all the time. By the way, don't mind the birds. Fucking birds chirping and shit. His grandfather loves him. He takes care of him. He adores him so much. You know, he lost his James lost his parents. He lost his, you know, his child as well. He tells him, I have something to give you. I have something special I want to give you. The grandfather, it looks like that he used to be a carpenter. As you find out that his name is Geppetto. So kind of like the story of Pinocchio. Pinocchio was made by Geppetto. So you kind of you're thinking of that, you know, trying to put things together as far as the actual story of Pinocchio. One night, James wakes up. His door's open. He sees footsteps outside his door. He hears something running. And then he goes out to investigate what it is. And then he sees a silhouette of something standing. Very small. Like, you know, like half his height. He shines a light on it and it runs. And it's a very scary image of what looks like a wooden doll. So then he gets frightened. He gets scared. Then eventually his grandpa finds out that this interaction happened during that time at night, and he introduces to him, this is Pinocchio, this is James. So he looks like he made him a friend. He, in the story, in the narration in the beginning, he talks about finding a way to create life that after death. Basically the story was that this person was trying to figure out how to create life after death, or how to keep people from dying. And this boy has lost significant people in his life that were important to him, and he has heartache, and he wants to do that for him in a way, but also do that for everybody, even himself. Geppetto, the grandfather, created this toy, in a sense, a wooden toy puppet, to be his grandson's companion, his friend. He has lost his best friend. He wants him to bond with him, but he tells him, you cannot tell anybody about this. You can't tell a soul. So James promises him that he will never tell anybody about Pinocchio. Pinocchio becomes his best friend. They start watching TV together. They play games. You know, they're out in their treehouse. It looks like he's having a good time, but Pinocchio's having a good time too. You know, it's a really nice story so far that is being built. James has to go to school, so Pinocchio is not allowed to go to school with him. Geppetto locks Pinocchio down in the basement where he created him. So he's not allowed to go down there. There are little bits and pieces of conversation that Pinocchio and Geppetto have that is very weird, that gets you questioning things, because Geppetto asked him, do you remember any of your past memories? He asked him that. So you're wondering where these past memories would come from. Why would he have past memories? James doesn't really question all this because he's very maybe naive about it, about his age, and you know, his grandpa is probably, you know, trying to help him out and make him happy. But he too, you know, kind of wonders like what it is, because he takes him to school. Takes him to school because he wants to be around this toy, you know, his puppet, his friend. And there is a scene where he breaks out of the backpack that he's in. You know, he wants to adventure. He wants to go find his friend James. Geppetto told Pinocchio he had him in the basement. He had him on hooks. He had him kind of like restrained. And he told him, why am I supposed to be like this? And he said, it's for your own good and for James' safety. You wonder what's going on. Like, what is that? What's the deal? Obviously, James goes down to the basement, takes off his restraints, puts a fake dummy there to make it look like he's still locked up, and he takes him to school. But yes, he comes out of the backpack, and then he's James is in PE class, and then he goes off to look for him. Pinocchio causes chaos, and he doesn't have to cause any of it personally, but it looks like he's kind of like bad luck, or maybe just people were just so scared of him that they just created accidents. So somebody sees him, they're on the treadmill, because it looks like there's a gym inside the PE area or wherever it was. It's like a gym for staff or something like that. And so somebody trips off the treadmill, they literally land, break their neck, like land backwards, break their neck, and then somebody trips and falls, and then a dumbbell falls on their head, and then another one falls on their head, and then Pinocchio's just kind of like in awe, like people are dying around him. He didn't cause any of it, right? He just startled people, and they ended up dying. He ends up, you know, going back to his backpack and stuff like that. So he gets to witness like all this like death. It's a little weird at first because these deaths happen, and it's not even his fault, right? But later on, he gets introduced to James's friends, and the friends are kind of like, what is this thing? You know, is it an alien? Is it a robot? He makes up some lies saying that it's like a robot, basically, because he doesn't even know how to explain it to them what he is, because he is alive, but he isn't a living person. So he says, you know, don't tell anybody about him, and he wants to show his friends, but he just doesn't know how to. But now Pinocchio's being introduced to other people. He then sees that they're his friends, you know, they're his companions, so they're good people. From what it looks like, is Pinocchio, obviously he's a child, he doesn't know anything better. But then later on, there's a scene where James is playing with Pinocchio at a table, and he has like other toys and stuff like that. But this is still school. The jerk, the bully of the movie, of his class, comes in with other people, and he starts breaking everything, basically, right? And then he drops his Pinocchio, and then they hurt James, but Pinocchio doesn't respond, right? He doesn't respond, because he has told him, if there's people around, you don't move. So now Pinocchio knows violence, and he sees the person who hurt his friend James that he cares about. But it's very interesting because he's learning. He's very fast learning, and he gets influenced by things around him, right? In the basement, there is what looks to be like another puppet. So this other puppet is it's weird because it's kind of like attached to the wall, and she is supposed to be his mother in a way. I guess she's referred to Motherwood or something like that. And basically she kind of influences and tells him, like, you can be a real boy, you can become a real boy, you can be just like James, you just have to collect a couple things. And he is very, you know, naive and gullible, and he wants to be just like James because he studied, you know, he showed him anatomy, he showed him what they have, and like as far as like veins and eyes and all the body parts, right? So she tells him that he needs to go collect these things. So this is how it starts to happen, where he becomes evil. Well, not necessarily evil, but he is becoming violent in a way because she is influencing him. What happens is that basically there's a scene where he goes to the dentist with James. James is getting his wisdom teeth pulled out, and then he sees how he's going through pain, and she's actually taking out body parts too. It gets very cheesy at some points, but at the same time I did like the cringiness as far as the pain and the torture that goes with it, in a way. Not in a sick way, but I like that, this fairy tale turns into a horror movie. He watches how she did the procedure of her removing the teeth. He did the same thing to her, and I thought that was pretty gruesome, to be honest. And I'll probably be heading into work in a bit, so I might have to even cut this, and continue it later. But he thinks that he's doing James a favor too, because she hurt him. She took out those teeth from him. He thinks that she's a bad person. So he is now kind of confusing, what a good person is and what a bad person is, because he received pain when he got hurt by the bully, and then now he's receiving pain from the dentist. He thinks it's a similar pain. But I honestly think it's very interesting on how it started to build up, where he wants to protect them from any harm at this point. So Pinocchio is like, he's a good character, but he's just easily influenced that he just becomes a bad character. It's a whole lot of story, but I'm just trying to build, I'm trying to build on his character. And I'll probably pause in a bit. That way I can go into work. James is being, he's left school. He's left the dentist. Now he's going home, and he's in pain from the wisdom teeth. Right. This is before Pinocchio kisses the dentist, but it's important about where it went, because this is what I'm talking about. So he's in the car. He has a chauffeur because his grandpa doesn't drive him around. Right. Grandpa has money. He says, "Ow!" Like, he's in pain. And then Pinocchio tells him, "Are you okay?" And then the chauffeur knows that only James is in the car, but hears another voice. So he turns around, and when he turns around, they get hit by another car. So now James is in the hospital. The chauffeur's dead. Pinocchio is in the backpack. He's in the room with him, and they're calling Geppetto, saying like, your grandson's been in an accident. But what happened was that Pinocchio overhears a conversation between the nurses, saying they were hit by a drunk driver. It's the same drunk driver from last year. So he hears that the person who hurt James is in the hospital, and he needs attention, right? He's the guy that hurt James, so he wants to go hurt the guy that hurt James, the drunk driver. So he follows the nurse. He follows to see where he's at, and he uses this opportunity to do what the Motherwood said. I believe her name is Motherwood. To become a real boy, he needs body parts. So he goes in there. It's a little cringy, and he's laughing, and the way he does it, and it's just kind of like, that's cheesy, But it was pretty gruesome. But the idea that he is now collecting parts and he's putting it inside him, like he has a hollow area where you can put something inside him, and he's putting these body parts. He finds a heart. He finds his intestines. I forgot what else he puts, but he puts it inside him. He goes back to the room and everything. James comes to, as Geppetto's there, and he hides in the backpack and makes sure that Geppetto doesn't see him, because he's not supposed to be there. Pinocchio wants to be a real boy. He wants to be able to be a real person, to be normal, to be James' friend. That's what he cares about right now. That's all he wants. He wants to protect him, because he knows that he's supposed to be protecting his friends from bad people. So that's how it starts to go. And then he goes on it. Eventually goes on a killing spree, but he ends up killing people who has harmed James. So the bully's friends. He goes to their house. He starts collecting pieces. he is now in. He's also being accompanied by the Cricket. Cricket is being voiced by David England. David England. Sorry, man. I excuse me, but he is the guy who was Freddy Krueger, and he voices the Cricket, and he looks very evil. He looks like a devil. But anyways, I'm gonna have to cut this a little short, and I'll continue the rest. Hopefully I don't make it too long, but the movie's pretty decent, man. It's getting pretty good. Okay, guys, I've been procrastinating on doing this video, but I'm in my room now. I'm not in the car, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish it here, and we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, so where I left off, that Pinocchio was collecting body parts. So Mother Wood tricked Pinocchio into collecting body parts for him to become a real boy, because he wanted to become a real boy just like James. She lied to him, basically. He can't become a real boy, and he just went off on a killing spree to kill people who were hurting James. He went off on a killing spree and killed the bully and the bully's friends, and he started adding all the... It was pretty gruesome, honestly. This is spoiler. This is pretty gruesome because he started adding all the body parts to him. So he cut off the black kid. I forgot his name, but he cut off his face. He put it on his face, and then he cut off one of the girls' hair. Like he scalped her, and then he put that on his head. So then he had a wig, which was weird because he said that he wanted to become a real boy, but then he started looking like he was a girl. Like he started putting on some of the lipstick. Like it got weird. But what was crazy was the way that he killed some of the what was crazy was how he killed some of the kids. So just kind of like in the fairy tale or the story Pinocchio, when he lies, his nose gets bigger. So his nose got bigger and it grew. So he started to lie and on purpose, and then he created this giant nose that penetrated several people, like the black kid. He penetrated his face. It was crazy. Geppetto now realizes that Pinocchio is no longer in the basement. He now knows that James let him escape. So then he goes out to find him. He eventually finds him at the bully's I don't know his name, man, house, and he takes him back to the house, and then he takes him to the basement. So then he takes us in the basement, and basically he's going to kill Pinocchio because he now realized he is a failed experiment. So Geppetto has been experimenting, and what he's doing, which is going to be which you'll see in the movie. You'll see in the movie how or why. Basically was putting bodies and attaching it to a tree. And then this tree was draining and basically fusing with the bodies. And the wood that was growing from the tree, he made several other experiments, several other things just like Pinocchio, and Pinocchio was made of that same wood. So it's infused with DNA and blood and a soul of another person. So Pinocchio's soul was the soul of Jane's best friend. So Jane's best friend was Pinocchio, and that's why you'll notice why there was some weird similarities, I guess. He knew a secret handshake that he knew, and that's why he had Geppetto had asked him, "Hey, do you remember any of your past memories?" And Pinocchio said no. So that was the reason why. So I'm gonna go into to the ending. Basically, it's a giant spoiler. I give this movie a way better rating than Evil Dead. By the way, guys, Evil Dead fans, if you guys watch that, if you guys are watching this, I apologize. I probably didn't give it the best review that I should have gave it. I know there's a lot of diehard Evil Dead fans, and I probably should have been a little more knowledgeable about the movies and the series, which I am now catching up on them because I guess I didn't know that there was I have seen the remakes, but there's the original ones. I've seen Ash versus Evil Dead, but I don't know like the whole lore because I guess it's weird because the first movie is a first movie, and then the second movie is the first movie, and then the remake, and then a sequel, and then there's Army of Darkness, which I have seen it. I just don't really remember it. Anyways, I'm gonna be wrapping up this review because people don't let me talk in peace, and they're already making noises. But I give this movie three, 3 out of 5. It was a good movie. It was way better than Evil Dead Burn. I'll be honest with you, it really was. But I really liked the fact that at the end, it was messy. It was very messy. But Pinocchio realizes that he was tricked into doing all this stuff, and then Geppetto is going to kill Pinocchio, and then the kids, James and Mia, try to protect Pinocchio from Geppetto because Geppetto ended up just being the bad guy anyways because he's not going to stop these experiments. He's going to be using people's corpses to create these wooden people, and there's not going to be any end to it. It kind of sucks because Pinocchio went through all that, killed all these people, didn't know, and in a way it wasn't really his fault, and they kind of say it, it wasn't really your fault. I mean, it's not like they weren't bad people, but the thing is that he realized it too late, and so at the end of the movie, it does look like there is a post-credit scene where the cricket ends up putting Geppetto's body where the tree was. And I'm assuming that he wants to bring Geppetto back to life as one of the wooden puppets. But I just thought it was kind of weird and kind of dumb because the thing is that there was a fire and basically it burnt down everything, almost everything, it burned down the house. So I don't know how that's going to work. It was kind of weird. But it sucks for James. James is the one that's like lost everything. He lost his parents. He lost his best friend. He lost his grandpa, and now he lost Pinocchio because I don't even know what the hell is gonna happen with Pinocchio at this point. I don't think Pinocchio should have just went into the fire and burned himself anyways. But good movie. It was a good watch. There was some good comic, jokes. Funny thing was. Pinocchio realized that he doesn't have a penis, and I thought that was a funny part. But anyways, Pinocchio Unstrung, it's a 3 out of 5. It definitely is a rewatch. They would want to rewatch it again. As if there's a sequel, I would definitely watch it. So and then let's go back to Evil Dead. Evil Dead Wrath. I'll be excited to go watch that. But Evil Dead Burn, I'm like it was just, I'm telling you, you could have just had all those deadites just start killing people and everything. And then I didn't know that that's what they were called, deadites, and the fans are called deadites too, I guess. But anyways, for the Evil Dead community, I'm sorry. I apologize for being ignorant, but that's on my bad. And then I'll go ahead and I'm thinking about rewatching because I already watched Evil Dead, the first one, the very first one, the one from 1981 with Bruce Campbell. I want to watch them and then I'll do a review on them and just kind of give my, if that's okay, because I don't want people to freak and not like me from the Evil Dead community, because there's a good movie. It's a good movie. It really was, just not Evil Dead Burn. But anyways, you guys give me a like, comment down below, subscribe, tell your buddy about this review. Come on. Anyways, peace out.